My little sister spent years trying to hurt me, burning me, cutting me, even holding a knife to my throat. 2 days after I escaped, she attacked our mom, and the police finally stepped in. You know, there are some wounds so deep, so ingrained in your soul, you start to believe they're just a part of who you are. But what if those wounds were inflicted by the one person who was supposed to be your closest kin? What if that person spent a lifetime trying to destroy you, and the moment you finally fought back, everything changed forever? It's crazy to think this all happened just before I was supposed to leave for a college program in Orlando last December. See, my younger sister, she's 18 now, but for as long as I can remember, we've been at war. Not like normal sister squabbles, not little hair-pulling fights. We're talking about a whole other level of dark. We're talking about her intentionally burning me with clothes irons, trying to hold my head under the pool water when our parents weren't looking. She was always physically stronger than me, which just made it worse. She'd cut my hair, even tried to cut me with scissors, ripped the heads off my dolls. And the lies, oh, the lies. She once told her entire 5th grade class I'd been hit by a bus and died. Can you even imagine? As I got older, especially in high school, I started pushing back. I mean, I'm no saint. I'd sling my share of unkind words right back at her. My mom, bless her heart, she'd try to step in, try to separate us when things got too out of hand. But at my dad's house, that was a completely different story. When things got really heated, he'd just retreat. He'd go to his room, sometimes even fall asleep, anything to avoid dealing with the conflict. And that, right there, was my worst nightmare coming true. One night, we were all at dinner, and I tried to pause the TV to go to the bathroom. My sister, predictably, got furious. I told her, "Don't you dare unpause it until I get back." But, of course, she didn't wait. I came back, and the TV was playing. I was so mad, I called her. Well, let's just say I used a really ugly word. Now, I'd said some nasty things before, but I had never been violent. My go-to was always to put my hands up or just run away. But that night, it was different. She looked at me, a fire in her eyes, and decided violence was the only answer. Before I could even process what was happening, she grabbed the steak knife from her dinner plate. The next thing I knew, that cold, sharp blade was pressed against my neck. Time just stopped. I can still smell the food on the table, I can still feel the pressure of that knife against my skin, and I can still hear her voice, chillingly clear, saying she wanted to kill me. To this day, I don't remember when she put it down, or how I ended up on the floor. It's just a blur of terror. I remember running to tell my dad, but he was out cold, unreachable. So, I did the only thing I could think of. I went to bed, and I put a chair behind my door because I was so incredibly scared. I even called 911, but then panicked and claimed it was an accidental dial. I was terrified of what would happen to her, even after everything. The next day, my grandmother picked us up. My mom had already pulled my sister out of school to homeschool her after finding out she'd been bullying other girls and, get this, stealing money from my grandmother's fundraiser. And there was this other incident, where she got kids to sign a petition to rename me something absolutely vile, which led to me having a full-blown panic attack in front of the bathroom mirror. I don't even remember the exact details. I just know that day, I ended up in the school counselor's office, and I spilled everything. I waited in that office for what felt like an eternity, and then my mom walked in, along with a police officer and my dad's mom, my grandma. 2 days later, after sleeping at my grandma's, we got the call. My sister was in a jail cell. She had attacked my mother, who had just had stomach surgery, and had tried to hit her in her stitches. My mom ended up in the hospital because of the bruising. My sister, of course, tried to claim child abuse, but my mom had only grabbed her by the back of the neck to get her on the ground. Luckily, my grandpa, who lives next door, heard the commotion and called 911. My sister ended up admitting to the officers that she didn't want to kill my mother, but she really wanted to hurt my name, because she took my life. To this day, I still don't understand what she meant by that. Fast forward through years of behavioral facilities, in and out of public school, and countless therapy sessions and medication trials. During the pandemic, with a whole city separating us, things actually started to calm down. She'd still make comments, still fly off the handle, but at least the physical violence had stopped. Now, with all that history, let's get back to last December. The first real incident that month happened when my dad accidentally dropped a Christmas present for her dog, and the wrapping paper got a tiny scratch. She waited until he went back inside to grab more gifts, and with me in the back seat, she snatched his phone, keys, and wallet. She then tried to speed off, nearly wrecking us into a neighbor's fence before my dad, God bless him, actually jumped in front of the car, banging on the window. Her therapist had actually told my dad to instruct us to record this kind of behavior. So yeah, I did. I recorded it. I sent it to my mom, hoping she'd talk to my dad later. I really try to stay out of my sister's headspace as much as possible. Then came Christmas with my mom. I won $200 on lottery tickets, and she won a measly 8. That was enough to send her into a rage. She wished me dead and stormed off, refusing to take any of the gifts I'd painstakingly bought for her. But the absolute final straw, the camel-breaking moment for me, happened while we were opening presents with my elderly grandmother. My sister lunged at me from across the room. Without even thinking, I slammed the Christmas gift in my hand, a makeup mini fridge, by the way, right into her face. She later saw the video of her trying to steal my dad's stuff, which I'd sent to my mom, when she was trying to send herself pictures from the day. So yeah, maybe some people think I deserved it. But I was done. Absolutely, completely done. When she screamed that she hoped I got assaulted and murdered in Orlando, that she wished I'd never come home, and claimed I'd ruined her entire life, something in me just snapped. I was broken. She ran off crying, and I chased her, yelling, "Consider me a stranger. As far as I'm concerned, you're not family to me anymore. You are dead to me." I left for Orlando right after that. I blocked her everywhere. Every social media, every contact. I even deleted every single picture of us together. I was done. And these past 10 months away from her, with zero contact, have been eye-opening. My life is so much better without the constant anxiety she brought. But now I'm coming home, and my grandmother, bless her traditional heart, wants me to apologize. This is the same grandmother my sister told that she hates to breathe the same air as me, let alone see my face. So, seriously, should I apologize? I mean, really? Update 1 asterisk you guys, thank you. Seriously, your advice and kind words when I first posted. It was just a vent, you know, stress-induced. But you all lifted me up in ways I can't even describe. So, I owe you an update, and honestly, I still need more advice. This week, as I moved back, I talked to my mom. We agreed, though I would have done it anyway, that it's best to go low contact with my grandmother and her siblings, who all agree with her. My dad doesn't love it, but he says he understands and won't breathe a word about where I am to my grandmother until after I've settled. But there's a whole new storm brewing. My dad's brother's wife, my aunt, is pushing for a big family picture. We haven't had one since 2017, right when things with my sister were at their absolute worst. Everyone involved is hounding me, sending outfit ideas, texting times, locations, even asking me to plan poses. Apparently, because I used to do some contract modeling, that makes me an expert in all things photography, even though I've never held a pro camera in my life. I honestly don't know how to tell them I can't be in a family picture if my sister is there. And knowing my family, if I ask them to choose, they'll just try to make me compromise, suggesting I stand as far away as possible or just make it quick. You don't even have to talk, they'll say. If you were me, what would you say? Because I really don't know if I'm ready to be in the same room as her yet. Maybe never. Decision made asterisk okay, so I've decided. This November, I'm suddenly going to have a false positive COVID test. Thank you all so much for the idea. And if they give me too much grief, I might just steal that cardboard cutout suggestion someone made and put them in timeout. Update 2 asterisk another update, guys. For those not caught up, all my posts are captioned similarly, building on each other. These aren't for clout. They're strictly for updating those who genuinely care and to offer insight to anyone going through similar stuff. Since moving back home, I've stayed completely no contact with my younger sister and low contact with my dad's side grandmother. And honestly, it's been great. I've got 3 job interviews lined up, and I've even made a little money babysitting for relatives and friends. My dad, surprisingly, has been way more supportive through this whole no-contact process than I ever thought he would be. He only mentioned reconnecting once, and after I explained my reasons for wanting to stay and see, he immediately dropped it. Last week, I was doing some home improvements at his place while my sister was at work. We only crossed paths once, both in our cars as I was leaving, so I didn't actually see her face to face. For those who were worried about her pets, they seemed well enough cared for. Though, Part of the home improvements I worked on involved replacing flooring that had swelled because she hadn't bothered to clean up dog urine in a corner of her bedroom. After that, my dad actually started charging her rent. Instead of paying me for the work, my dad decided to give me a car, his old work vehicle that's fully paid off. He's getting a new truck, so he won't need it. The only problem? His old work car was basically a driving trash dump. It was overflowing with soda cans, food wrappers, old welding equipment, and, as I'd soon find out, and used condoms. While I was cleaning it out at my mom's place, buried under all that junk, I found a letter addressed to me. It looked old, stained from whatever had been rolling around on top of it. My name was on it, so I figured, might as well open it. That's when I realized it was from my sister from 3 years ago, for my high school graduation. I never even knew she'd gotten me anything. And honestly, after seeing it, I don't know how to feel. It made me momentarily second-guess myself, wondering if I'd been too harsh on her. But then I remembered everything she'd done, and I practically threw it in a drawer and walked away. That was 2 days ago. I just feel weird having it now. And while I still have absolutely no intention of contacting her, I can't help but wonder if there was ever a time she truly cared for me. It might sound stupid or silly, but she's never actually written anything that nice to me, or given me anything outside of Christmas, not even for my birthday. Is it normal to question all of this, or to think this way? Edit asterisk. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm starting therapy in 2 weeks. Small town, so options are limited, especially with insurance. But I'm hopeful I'll get in sooner. Asterisk comment 1 asterisk. Someone asked what the letter said, and if she was always like this. Asterisk my reply asterisk. It started young, with the cutting, burning, hair pulling, telling people I was dead, all that stuff. It just got worse as we got older. The letter just said it was from her, and that I worked hard to graduate despite my struggles with ADHD. Asterisk comment 2 asterisk. Someone mentioned mental illnesses manifesting at puberty. Asterisk my reply asterisk. I still wonder if it's not partly a hormonal issue. The more people I talk to about this, the more I realize there's a huge emotional and mental component. Yes. But I wonder if there's a more chemical aspect. A little TMI, but she got her period before me. Her body started to undergo all those female changes around 10 to 12. I think 11, but I'm not 100% sure right now. Around that same time, her actions towards me seemed to escalate. I'm just getting tired of looking for answers I may never have, though. I think trying to find a cause all these years has almost driven me insane. Update 3 asterisk. Smaller update today. I didn't get the teller job, but they kept my resume on file for future positions. I did get a job working as a secretary for my mom's boss. It pays well, and honestly, I'm alone a lot there, so it's been good for some much-needed self-reflection. Also, I got a boyfriend. He's a bit of a country boy, and we've had a few lively political debates, but I've never had a guy make me feel this way. He's become a massive supporter, and he's actually a prison guard and a state trooper hopeful. I guess opposites really do attract sometimes, because while he's out hunting deer, I'm binging RuPaul's Drag Race reruns. Oh, and I dropped out of college. I just couldn't handle it on top of all my other personal issues. The bigger updates, as my caption says, are that my family has been hit hard by my mother's recent cancer diagnosis. At first, they told us it was thyroid cancer, which, according to the doctor, is the best kind of cancer you can have. A simple removal, they said. Turns out, it's much more serious. I'm only going to speak lightly on it right now because we're waiting to learn more before we tell anyone outside our immediate family, and I want to update properly when we know more. Now, for the latest stunt my family tried to pull. I made a deal with them. If my sister is there, I won't be, unless they make absolutely sure she stays a certain number of feet away. After that, we go straight back to our regularly scheduled no contact. Everyone seemed fine with that. I said I'd get in a picture with her and my dad, who, despite our issues, I know would physically take her down if she tried anything. Am I putting myself at some risk? Yeah, but unlike the rest of my family, I'm driving myself, and I can leave at any time. Plus, I'm a former model, and I know the photographer they picked. He's a close friend, and he's been aware of our situation for a while, which gives me some comfort that he'll move us as far apart as possible for the photos. So why did I agree? Because my low-contact grandmother is in really bad health. I think that's why she's been pushing so hard for us to make up. It's no excuse in my eyes, but it gives me some clarity. This might be our last chance at a big family photo. I don't want to deny my cousins this. They've always loved and supported me. I feel secure knowing so many people are on my side and will be vigilant about my sister's behavior. However, the message I'm about to tell you about came after my aunt texted the group chat, detailing the exact shots she wanted. One of them, me and my sister, together, alone, on a bridge. I sent a message back to my dad, basically saying, absolutely the F asterisk 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 not. And I haven't heard back since. That blanket of security I felt, it feels like it's slowly tearing away after reading that and his lack of response. There's still time to back out, but now it would just cause even more drama, and I'm honestly lost as to what to do. Update 4 asterisk K guys. I've decided to start tagging these as personal insights because I've finally come to terms with the fact that I can't control these things, and I no longer need to question if I'm at fault for my sisters and my situation. So, my sister has, once again, restarted her campaign of hatred against me during the family holidays. I recently made the decision to just be civil so we could all have Christmas together for my mom's sake. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in my last update, but she was recently diagnosed with thyroid cancer since I came home. Strange as it sounds, the doctors say it's the best cancer to have. Still, she's terrified, going through something I could never understand. She promised me she'd keep my sister as far away as humanly possible. Unlike other family members, she didn't even really push me. She just suggested it. I hesitated, but knowing how many events my mother has missed out on without all her children and all the stress she's been through lately, I just agreed. And I'm already starting to regret my decision. I don't feel scared of physical harm, because if she tries anything, I now have a 6 feet 1 inch prison guard / self-declared gym nut, my boyfriend, to keep her away. He's one of the few people I've told everything to. And because he says he loves me, I guess my sister hates him. She messaged my mom on Facebook a few weeks ago, saying if he came to our family gift exchange, she wouldn't show up. If I was at gingerbread night, she was leaving. She never even came to gingerbread night yesterday. And after my mom posted pictures of the event on Facebook, my sister went absolutely crazy online, posting about how she's the stranger and black sheep of our family, cursing out my mother in the comment sections, and even not coming to our extended family Christmas breakfast today because of it. My boyfriend offered to just see me later Christmas morning, and I told him it would be different if it wasn't because she hates me. Like, if mom just wanted it to be family, I might be less comfortable, but it'd be fine because she never stays long anyway. But she's specifically targeting my boyfriend because she hates me and refuses to show up because I'm there. I just know I'm going to feel so much guilt because mom is going to be so hurt, and I really don't know if she'll even come to our family Christmas later. I don't really need advice here. I guess I'm just posting today because my mind is full of holiday worry for a mom who may not be here next year, and who has always supported me through all this. Update 5 asterisk K guys, please, no donations. I'm not asking for money of any kind, and I did find a job, so I'm no longer struggling financially. I truly appreciate the willingness to give, but I simply cannot accept. If you'd like, I'm sure there are plenty of charities that would gladly accept, and I'll give suggestions if asked, but again, I will not accept. Happy 2024, everyone. It's officially been a few days over a year since I've spoken to my sister, and I've learned so much in this time. The holidays went smoothly enough. I basically avoided her like the plague, and we were only in the same room for a very short period, surrounded by people I know wouldn't stand for her behavior. In a truly shocking turn of events, I got offered a runway modeling job earlier this week. I'll definitely have to start hitting the gym for it, but my boyfriend thinks it could really help me with life stressors, and my therapist even thinks it's a wonderful idea. Any tips? I haven't been to the gym in almost 4 months, and even then, I just ran on a treadmill. I don't bring this up to brag or be one of those attention-seeking, I'm a model, love me, types you see online. I used to be friends with one, they exist, and they are not good to be around. No, I bring this development up as an example of my mental progress. Of course, my sister found out about this opportunity, specifically that it's in NYC. And, predictably, she complained to my dad about how it's not fair I get to do these things, and I'm the world's favorite, and I don't deserve this, and so on. In the past, her comments would always chip away at me. Maybe they didn't choose me to win that prize because they liked my work. Maybe I was just a second call for that project. Maybe I did just get lucky with that scholarship. I know this probably sounds like I'm being a big baby to some of you, and I know some of you will say I'm exaggerating, that my thought process in the past was way out there. And I'm here to tell you, you're right, in a lot of ways. I was being hard on myself, hard on my accomplishments, and letting the words of someone else impact my life. But until I finally decided to let that person go, until I reached my own boiling point, I didn't take as much pride in these things. I made excuses for how they came to be, instead of seeing how I had built myself up to achieve them. And that was my own fault. But for the first time, probably ever, I actually laughed when my sister tried to bring me down. And I feel like my confidence is genuinely growing. My therapist says this is a sign I'm actually healing, that I'm not letting her take over anymore. I'm so happy to say that, a year later, I finally feel like I'm making real, honest-to-goodness progress.